Welcome back to the Saving Sally channel. I am Jason, and this is my 1991 Trans Am named Sally that we are not working on in this video. We actually have another Trans Am. This is a 4th gen that I picked up for the purposes of, well, let's just be honest, I wanted to enjoy driving a car now, but I also wanted a second project car for the channel, so I managed to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now this video is all about replacing the transmission mount in your manual transmission 4th gen Firebird or Camaro. Now if you have one of these cars and you're wondering how do you know if you have a bad transmission mount, it's pretty simple. If you give it any amount of throttle and you notice a tremendous amount of movement from the gear selector, you probably have a bad transmission mount. Now the good news is these are super easy to replace, and I'm about to show you exactly how to do that. First things first, you're going to be working underneath the car. Don't let that intimidate you if you're kind of new to working on cars. No one would even blink if this repair were to be done under the hood. But since it does, a lot of people see that and they're, immediately just think to themselves, well, I'm out. If you are able to turn a wrench and are physically able to get underneath the vehicle, you can make this repair. You're also going to be working right next to your exhaust system, so you don't want to do this if you've maybe driven the car to work and driving it home and planning to work on it as soon as you get in. You're going to want to give the car some time to cool off, otherwise you might end up with some pretty nasty burns. You're also going to need to secure the transmission with some sort of support. Now, really you should have used a transmission jack. I don't have a transmission jack, but with the transmission being bolted to the engine and of course the engine being connected to the engine mounts to the chassis of the vehicle, I felt pretty secure in this. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm telling you to do it the right way. Get a transmission jack. With the transmission supported, let's have a look at the cross member. Now there are 4 bolts that connect this cross member to the chassis. And then there's 1 nut in the center that connects the cross member to the transmission mount itself. Now I started with this 18mm nut in the center that's connected to the transmission mount. And after I removed that, then I removed the 4 bolts that hold the cross member to the chassis. And that wasn't by accident. There was absolutely a reason that I did that. That 18mm nut that connects it directly to the transmission mount would be the only thing holding the cross member up in the event that you took the 4 15mm bolts off first. Now we already know the transmission mount has failed. Now that failure may not be so complete that the cross member would fall to the floor if you were to pull those 4 bolts, but it might. I have seen that failure be so severe that once you pull that last bolt out, the cross member would just drop off right then, and then you might have a little bit tougher time actually getting that 18mm nut off. The other thing is, and this is a little bit more common too, is where the transmission mount itself is broken and allows excessive movement, but it's actually kind of stuck together. It's made out of rubber, and depending on how that rubber cracked, it may be in a situation where it wouldn't slide apart easily. So if you were to remove those 4 bolts, now the only thing holding it up is kind of the friction fit of the broken rubber in the transmission mount, and the cross member, which is a lot heavier than it looks, could kind of come down unexpectedly. You're working under a car, one of these things coming down and cracking you across the eyebrow or the nose would probably hurt a lot more than you think. Now when you're lowering the cross member, you also want to be aware of this wire here. Now this wire is not actually plugged into anything related to the cross member at this location. It's just simply was a good connection point for cable management, for lack of a better word. You just don't want to damage the wires or the clip when you're taking this thing off, so carefully lean this thing up out of the way. There should be enough slack in the cable for you to do that. And with the cross member leaned up and out of the way, let's get back over to the transmission mount itself. There are 2 13mm bolts here, 1 on either side of the transmission mount. Go ahead and remove those and set those aside. And let's have a look at this old transmission mount. Here you can see what I'm talking about. You can see that the way this particular one has failed, it was still holding together. But again, you wouldn't know that until you've removed the mount from the car and had a chance to inspect it. The other thing I want to point out here is that it is made out of rubber. That's something else we'll come back to at the end of the video. But for now, just think of it as a couple of metal plates with a little bit of rubber in between, and its purpose is to absorb vibration and kind of help the vehicle not transfer so much engine and road noise into the cabin. And with the old transmission mount out of the way, we're ready to go back on with a new one. Now right here I'm using a little bit of anti-seize. I could see that there was some anti-seize on the bolts when I removed them, so I'm definitely going to put some back on. We're putting a steel bolt into an aluminum transmission housing, and anytime you do dissimilar metals, it is an absolute best practice to use anti-seize. Trust me, if you don't and you ever had to back one of these out, you'll probably ruin the hole that the bolt was in. Now there are a handful of different options for the transmission mounts. I did go back with an OEM, and in my case it would only go one way, but depending on what you purchased here, your mileage may vary. Now at the time of filming this video, I actually did not have the recommended torque specifications for this project, and I wasn't certain that I was going to be able to get them, so I did go ahead and film. Having said that, I do have those torque specs now, and I'm going to give those to you. The torque specs for these bolts to secure the transmission mount to the transmission was 36 foot-pounds. And with the transmission mount secured, let's put the cross member back on. Now these steel bolts are going into steel threads, so we're not really concerned about anti-seize. In this case, because I didn't have the torque specifications, I did want to go ahead and use some thread locker. It was just kind of a cheap insurance policy to make sure that the bolts didn't back out on me one day. But the one thing that I'll tell you about this thread locker is be certain that you don't use too much. All it takes is a drop, so a drop is definitely all you should use. Now these 15mm bolts were 66 foot-pounds, and the 18mm nut was at 77 foot-pounds. Congratulations, you're done. Well, you got to set the car back down on the ground, and of course you got to test it out, but outside of that, you're done. So on your test drive, when you accelerate, you're going to notice way less movement in your gear selector. You're also probably going to notice that the car feels a bit more snappy if you've been driving with a broken transmission mount for any period of time. And you might even find yourself tempted to test out and see if that new transmission mount can tolerate your world-class gear changing. It can't. So these OEM transmission mounts were notoriously weak for the cars. So you might be asking yourself, well, don't they make a better one? Well, the answer is yes, they do make a much stronger one. And in fact, it's actually less money than the OEM version, which then might make you ask why you would ever put the OEM version back in there if they make a stronger and less expensive replacement. Well, the answer to that is actually pretty straightforward. These OEM mounts were built to be good enough for most drivers, good enough for even some spirited driving, but they're not designed to be able to put up with that all the time. Their trade-off was they gave up a little bit of strength to have a softer material that would allow the car to pass less engine noise and less road noise into the driver's cabin, so it's a more comfortable driving experience. So the exact opposite is true of the higher performance transmission mounts, where they transfer more engine noise and more road noise into the cabin of the car. But the sacrifice that you make there gets you more durability in the transmission mount. So it's all about what really you're looking for out of the vehicle. Now this is a super easy repair. And if you've been working on cars for a while, you might even be thinking that this video is just not even really necessary. But the fact is, when I was young, the first time I tore the transmission mount out of my original white Trans Am, I hired the repair out. The truth is, when the guy told me your transmission mount is bad and it's going to have to be replaced, what I heard was, we're going to have your car torn apart to change out the transmission mount, which I had no idea what it looked like. By the way, this is the transmission mount. Pretty small component. So if this video has helped you in any way, please give me a thumbs up, maybe a like and a subscribe. Maybe share this content with somebody else that you think would also enjoy it. And until next time, this is Jason with Saving Sally, and I am still trying to come up with a name for the 2000 Trans Am.